there's something that we cannot make a video without asking about America. We cannot make a video about being an American. We cannot ask about this. And no matter how political it sounds, we'll make it not political.
Okay.
So it's about guns. Do you own a gun? Everyone has an opinion about what is America, how is America, who is an American, how does American people behave, how do they think. And I was just imagining that. I decided to talk to an American. And Nila here is the very first American that's coming on this channel. So we'll have to treat her like a special guest of honor.
Thank you.
So let's get to meet you, introduction. Maybe tell us your name, some little thing about you.
Okay. Hi everyone. My name is Nila, and I am originally from Missouri. I've been in the United States my entire life. I am an American. Yeah.
You've been in the United States all your life. You're an American. What does it mean being an American? I mean, you're an American. Okay, you have the citizenship of America.
Yeah. And
what else?
but you mean culturally and
Yeah, let's talk about culturally.
Okay. I think it means a lot of different things for different people, depending on where they're from, how they grew up, their religious background. I think regional differences play a really big part in what it means to be an American for each individual person. For example, if you grow up in the South, being an American may mean one thing to you culturally in terms of the food you eat, your dialect, the words you use, even familial values. But then if you grow up in California or in the Northeast or something, those values may be completely different. So I think, kind of like you said, the one thing that is being an American is having citizenship in the United States. Otherwise, it's completely diverse.
Yeah, but America is quite a beautiful and diverse place. I mean, just check it out. I'm from Nigeria, and I'm from the eastern part of Nigeria. I'm Igbo by tribe. If I see someone, I could say, "Oh, you look like you are an Igbo person," you know. So how does an American look?
To each other?
Yes, I mean to you. For me, I could say, "Oh, you look like an Igbo person. Skin color, you know, height." Some features, I'll just know you look like an Igbo person. But I wonder, America is a place where everybody seems to be different.
Yes.
So for an American, is there an identity that makes you think someone looks like American? Is there a way they speak, a way they act, or the way they look that makes you think someone looks or is an American?
I think that I generally think of Americans as being kind of loud. Not all the time, but in my opinion, it seems like they were kind of louder.
Are you loud?
I would say sometimes I am loud with people I'm comfortable with. If I'm not that comfortable, I'm more quiet.
You know, there are so many stereotypes I know about America. I mean, before coming to United States, you must have heard of America. That's just my case, like everyone else.
Yeah.
And we build our own imaginations of what America is like.
Yeah.
But there's some stereotypes I want to ask you about.
Okay.
I hear that in the rooms, Americans wear shoes. Is that true?
Like in the house?
In the house, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, not all the time, not everyone.
But most people do.
Like when we have all of my family over, my aunts and uncles and grandparents, we're all wearing shoes.
You wear shoes in the house?
Yeah.
Is it that awkward? Don't you think it's awkward?
No.
Okay, that's one of the stereotypes. Check. True.
I think so.
Okay, let me think of other stereotypes about it. Yeah, you mentioned that you people are loud. Americans are very loud.
I think so.
Do you when you say loud, is it about, you know, voice is loud, they are outgoing people, they are present, whatever they have visibility, or is it more of they have the courage to wait? Do you talk to strangers?
Yes, I think
that's a major characteristics of being loud, I guess.
Yes, like I'm not afraid to talk to people if I have a question, but I think that's also partially my personality. Some people would completely disagree with me, but I think in general, depending on where you are in the United States, people are very willing to talk to one another.
But what's the difference, according to where you are what's the difference between the South, the North, the East Coast? I mean,
I think...
Are there visible differences?
Visible?
Yeah, the things you could easily notice.
Maybe fashion sometimes is
okay,
different.
Who is more fashionable?
I think people on the East Coast are generally thought of as being more
I
fashionable.
mean, that's New York.
Yeah, New York,
I mean,
Boston, Washington D.C., things like that. I think people would say that. And then the rest of the country, maybe not California, but like the Midwest, they're always maybe 2 or 3 years behind what,
So
what
how about
New York's
you?
doing. Well, I try to be.
Okay. Okay.
But
Yeah.
still, or like if you go to the South, people will wear more. They'll wear more like traditional American. Really, any rural
What
areas.
is traditional
like
American?
blue
Is it
jeans and a
suit or-
no, no blue jeans, work boots, and a t-shirt. I would say.
T-shirts, blue jeans. Yeah, I saw there's some clip I saw on YouTube. Someone went to France, and he's like everybody when he's speaking French, they reply to him in English,
Yeah.
and he's like, how did they know?
Was it Modern Family?
I don't know
I've seen that.
I can't-
No, I've seen that.
How did they know that I'm not French? He finally understood it was his dress. It's just, Americans don't know how to dress. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I do. I think when I went to Europe, people are much more fashionable. It's much more classic and
Yeah.
simple. Here,
So let's talk about your travel experiences. You've been to Europe. Where in Europe?
yes, I've been to Germany and Austria and Norway.
That's quite vast. Austria, Germany, that's like one.
Yeah,
Then Norway, Scandinavia.
yeah.
How long did you spend all together in Europe?
Well, I've been there twice. Once I was just there for a week or two, and then the other time I spent 4 months in Germany and Austria, and then I
So
went to Norway just for vacation.
What was that major difference between America and Europe?
So many things. Public transportation is much better. People are more fashionable. Generally, people, when I've traveled, other people speak more than one language, but most people.
How many do you speak?
One, English. But when I travel, people in other countries usually speak at least 2. But in the United States, foreign language education is not prioritized in children.
But I see a lot of people speak in Spanish here.
Maybe people who maybe were raised.
Okay.
But most
okay.
people, if people in the United States speak a second language, it's usually because their parents
Okay,
speak
they are
it.
conscious. Okay,
Yeah.
I get that.
But everyone, I don't know anyone that speaks a second language that I grew up near because
So-
they learned it.
If not the United States, where else do you think you would be? Have you
It's
thought
hard
of
to
that?
say. Yeah, because when I'm done here, I will want to get a job somewhere else. I went to Ecuador over spring break, and I loved it there. I could see myself being there. I don't speak Spanish.
Have you been to Nigeria?
No,
Africa? Anywhere in Africa?
no.
Where do you know in Africa? Or where would you want to be? Or what do you know about anywhere in
I
Africa?
know very little, Genius.
Everybody in Africa knows something about America.
I know. Honestly, I don't think I could point Nigeria out on a map if you showed me a map of Africa.
West Africa, somewhere towards the west, like the west
Okay.
to west, you know?
I know where Ghana is, but only because
Okay.
one of the Genevieve is from there. A girl in the program is from there, so I know where that is.
Okay.
I know where South Africa is and Egypt, but those are the.
After this video, you know where Nigeria
That's
is. So you don't know much about Africa. I wanted to ask you something about Africa, but that would be a missed question. Let's talk about American cultures.
Okay.
There's also another stereotype about how Americans eat food. What is American food?
Not,
Like, what food is American?
not good for you. Delicious, but bad for you. Makes you gain weight. That's hard to say.
Wait, you don't have weight, like, you know, like so many Americans. Or
So many do.
So, were you conscious or you just can't, even if you eat as much as every other American, you won't take the weight?
No, I try to be very careful about what I eat. But most people, the traditional American diet is red meat heavy, burgers and steak and things like that. A lot of carbs. Mashed
And you
potatoes,
guys are
bread.
exporting that all over the world. I mean,
I
butter is
know.
everywhere in the
Yeah,
world.
a lot of fast food, a lot of processed food, things like that. So it's not very fresh most of the time.
Well, so what was one thing you love about being an American? This is about you and your nation. What was that one thing? Oh, I love being American because of this. Aside family.
Okay. Sometimes it's hard because I think of all the negative things about the United States, and I don't always feel all that
Mention one
proud.
negative thing that is not political.
Um,
That is not political. Right? You know, if you go to the political spectrum, I agree.
There's a lot.
There are lots of negative things.
a negative thing that's not political. That was mostly what I was thinking.
Okay, there's something I was just wondering, why have America refused to change or adjust the metric system? I mean, I came here from Sweden, and from Nigeria to Sweden to America. In Nigeria, we use Celsius.
Yeah.
Most part of Africa use Celsius.
Also the world.
The world use Celsius.
I don't know.
But yeah, it's Fahrenheit. And now don't tell me it's some degrees and I don't know what they're talking about.
It's so random. I feel like the metric system makes sense, and our system.
You guys are using miles. We're using kilometers.
I know. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I'm with you.
When you lived in Germany and Norway, how did you manage that?
I just Googled it all the time until I got kind of a general idea, but even then I was like, oh.
Okay, you have the idea right now.
Well, not anymore, but when I was there.
Okay, you're back to being American.
Yeah.
Okay, you're back to being. But do you know why that has remained even when every other part of the
No,
world
you're
has-
asking the wrong person. I don't know.
I think you need to join politics because you will know. You're a liar.
Yes.
Tell us, that's law, politics, constitution, they're all. So, how does that even work in America, being a lawyer?
Okay, so to be a lawyer, you have to get a college degree, a 4-year bachelor's degree, and then you have to apply and go to law school. Or you have to take a test called the LSAT, and it's like kind of an aptitude test. It doesn't quiz you about laws. It's more like reading and writing and logic.
Is this before law school?
Before
after?
law school.
Okay.
Before you even apply to law school, you have to take this test. And then you get a score, and then you apply to law school, get in hopefully, and then law school is 3 years. The first year is pretty standard. You study contracts and constitutional law, torts, which is like a personal injury type stuff, damages, things like that, and property law. And then after that, you can kind of specialize if you want. You can do criminal law, business law, corporate law, environmental law, whatever. You can kind of specialize. And then you have to take the bar exam, which is 2 days. And then if you pass, you're a lawyer.
So you passed all these things and you. So, but there's something that we cannot make a video without asking about America. We cannot make a video about being an American. We cannot ask about this. And no matter how political it sounds, we'll make it not political.
Okay.
So it's about guns. Do you own a gun?
No.
Why don't you have a gun?
I don't want a gun. I've never even touched a gun. I don't want a gun.
You never touched a gun?
No.
Oh, I will argue that all Americans have touched a gun. Okay. I actually thought all Americans have. Okay. Maybe that's a wrong stereotype.
Not the right. Well, I don't think it's wrong. I just think you're talking to the wrong person to deal with that stereotype.
I mean, every time you hear America, America is in the news. You just hear about guns. You know,
Oh,
should
yeah.
gun be or should
People
it
love
be?
their guns here.
Like their dogs.
Kinda.
Okay. Well, since you're not the right person to ask about God, I'm thinking of more American things I could ask you. Maybe you just tell me more American things. Being an American, you know, generally. Being an American, what are the American things?
Okay.
Also here, I found out that if you don't own a car, the transport system is meant
Horrible.
for cars.
Yes, you pretty much need to have a personal car to
If you
get
have a
around
car.
everywhere, unless you're in a really big city. I would say you probably need one. Like when I've gone to other countries, a lot of people don't know how to drive.
Yeah.
Do you know how to drive?
Yes.
Okay.
But people don't know how. I mean, in Nigeria, you need a car.
Okay.
But outside Nigeria, if you go to Europe, they have the tram,
Yeah.
subway,
Right.
you know, all kinds of transportation system, even the water.
Yeah.
But here, I mean,
Nothing, hardly. Yeah, and so I think most people learn to drive right when they can, when they're 16.
do you think that's because of the American business? I mean, there
The
are so
car
many
industry.
car industry.
Yes. And I don't think it's a good thing, but I think that's why.
But do you think that will go away?
No.
Okay, it has
I think
come to
that-
stay.
I think
That's
that-
not part of America.
I think that people advocate for it to go away, but I don't know that it will.
There's also something I've been wondering, the issues of immigration.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, people see America as a land of opportunities, where you come, you make your dreams come true, where there are, you know, the people from outside America relate to America as, you know, the land of the free or stuff like that. Do you see America that way? How do you see America, you know, when you come to
On a
these
global
opportunities,
sense.
whether global or local sense? I mean, this is a land of opportunities. This is a land where you are nobody, you become somebody. Do you see that as well as an American who have been here all your life?
In some ways, yes, and in some ways, no. I think that it can be that, but I think that because of the way the United States works culturally and politically, it's not feasible for a lot of people, especially people who come here from other countries. They have a lower social status, they have harder time getting a job, harder time making money. So I think it's possible. I just don't think it may be as opportunist as much of an opportunity as one might think. However, there are a lot of freedoms here that people who come from more oppressed places would appreciate, that I probably take for granted sometimes because I'm used to it.
It's normal for you, okay.
Right. But I think that it can be a place full of very warm people, and there are a lot of opportunities that I have, especially, being a woman. I didn't grow up in a wealthy household, and so in that sense, I've been able to kind of work my way up. But I also have a lot of privilege being a white person, and
Do you acknowledge that privilege?
Absolutely.
Interesting.
Absolutely.
When you say you have a lot of privilege, what are you talking about? Being a white person. I mean, it is a kind of sensitive area.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the sensitive things.
Okay.
Are you sure you want to talk
I'm
about
ready.
sensitive things?
I'll try.
There's something that's been everywhere on social media about two things you've mentioned. Now is white privilege, and the second thing is being a woman. So I see it was so popular, the question about who is a woman. It was so popular in the American discourse that people don't know who is a woman. Then you said, I'm a woman. You mentioned white privilege, and I want to hear you. So when you think of being a woman, is it more of because you identify, you accept yourself as a woman, or?
Yeah, I was born biologically female, and now I continue to identify as a woman, and I think that's what makes it for me. But I think that people who generally are more feminine presenting often are faced with challenges in the United States that are sometimes more subtle, like they might not get a raise that someone would get. It's not necessarily overt. It's illegal to be overtly sexist in the job.
Do you consider yourself a feminist? In the sense of the word feminism?
In terms of that, I think men and women should be treated equally.
I mean, I think everyone should be a feminist in terms of that.
Yes.
But I'm talking about in the political sense of it, contemporary meaning.
I think in a lot of ways, yes. But there's so many voices that I feel like I'm not as educated about it as I would like to be. So I don't want to
That's, so talking about white privilege, what is that privilege you think you have seen or experienced that you will get, I won't get it?
Yeah. Well, just like what we were talking about the other day, I would be able to go to many different countries without a visa. And I could just walk right in, and no one would bat an eye.
She could just walk in, hello, I'm an American.
Yes. Flash my passport, and there I am.
Okay, well, I'm from Nigeria, and our passport is Clabis. Very soon we'll get to that point.
Okay.
We'll get to that point where an American like you will want to get my passport as a second passport. I'm like, should we give it to you? Maybe I'll be the foreign minister. I'm like, do you think Nila should have a Nigerian passport? Oh, we'll think about that. We'll send you to a website that will ask you to pay. Because currently, for American visa, you have to pay, I think, $160 or thereabouts.
For you to get an American visa?
To get an appointment. To apply for an appointment.
Just for an appointment?
Yes, for the visa. Then you pay $160.
Okay.
Then you go for the appointment. If you're denied, you have to pay a new one. From the American cost of living, I think might be okay. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not that cheap for
a
college.
That's also what you should check. From the American cost of living, is $160 for a visa appointment is basic. But for the person who is paying, that's a lot of money.
I think that's a lot of money just to get an appointment.
Yes.
There's no guarantee.
No, the guarantee is nothing.
That's what's awful.
Absolutely nothing.
If it was $160 and they were saying yes,
Have you ever applied for visa? Have you gone to anywhere you had to apply for visa?
No.
Oh. So
I only have to apply for a visa if I'm going to stay for more than 3 months,
yes.
or if I'm going to work there.
Yes.
So no.
So if not, so that means you probably don't know what it means to apply for a visa.
I don't know the process.
Okay. I see the privileges. Is there another privilege you think, white privilege, that you could access or might not in America? I mean, these are not about traveling out in America here.
I think so. Definitely not. I don't think it's usually one that Americans would act on consciously. Some people would, but I think it's a little bit more subtle in a lot of ways. With the political climate now, it's becoming more overt, but I think that most people that I know wouldn't act in a racist way on purpose. They might do things that were dumb and would be considered racist, but I don't think most people have like a malicious intent. There are definitely groups and sections of this society that does, but I think that because of the way that, because of our history, society's almost set up for people of color to be looked down upon a little bit.
Well, I mean, that's the reality. That's why there's Black Lives Movement. That's why there's all the civil society movements, because these things are real.
Right.
Although that it might not apply for everyone, but there's still some segment of the society.
Yeah, especially people in politics who are controlling laws and access to things.
Are you political? I mean, do you have a side when it comes to American politics? Or you don't care?
Oh, I care.
That's also one good thing about many Americans, they care.
Yeah.
Like many Americans care. They have a side.
And I think we're lucky in that way, because if we care, we can take action that will impact change.
Yes.
Whereas in a lot of places, even if you care, you vote, you show up, it wouldn't make a difference. And I'm not saying it's perfect, it's not. But if I wanted to sign a petition or I wanted to get a law passed, there are things that I could do. That might make a difference.
That's why we still respect your democracy, despite the turmoil in the democracy. But American democracy still have to respect it, that people's involvement makes impact.
Yes.
That's not the same with so many other places.
Right. Yeah.
So what else would you want to tell us about being an American?
I feel like such a poor representative of the entire country.
No, I think you're doing a good PR for America. So I think many people. Wait, talking about immigrants.
Oh yeah, okay.
The last American government was talking about building a wall. That conversation has died down a bit.
Yeah.
But when it comes to people coming into America, how do you think Americans receive that, people coming in? Do you think generally, I mean, without you having the facts or having the census, do you think that many Americans are pro coming or against it?
I think that many are and many aren't. It's so hard because it's so divided right now. So many people I know are anti-immigration and so many people I know are pro-immigration. So it's very difficult to say that one perspective is indicative of everyone's opinion.
American politics. I mean, I have so many things to ask you, but they are all political, and I want to, kind of avoid the hot political topics about America.
Yeah.
But a lot of things about America is politics, and you have to be part of that political system.
I guess I've always thought that I think that this country is only improved by having people from diverse experiences.
That's what makes America great.
Exactly, because I'm able to meet with people from so many different backgrounds, and so I've always been more pro-immigration, because if people are willing and able to try to make a better life for their family, I invite those people to come in all day, every day. I think that there is enough opportunity and room for people of all kinds of backgrounds, and that is what helps make our country so interesting.
Well, let's leave American politics and talk about maybe whether America is such a very big place.
Yeah.
I know America is big, but being in America makes you see how big it is, really. I mean, it's like you're here, the next state is some other country somewhere else.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the time zones are different.
Yeah.
You're here, the time that is Chicago is a different time.
Yeah.
You are in San Francisco is a different time.
Yeah.
You know, being an American, where do you choose, or where do you consider the best places to be?
It's hard
Don't
to say.
don't call Missouri. Don't call don't call your home.
Missouri, best.
No,
Number one.
That's debatable.
Okay, I think that.
Best weather, best people, best.
Okay.
Let's.
Okay, I think the best weather
Yeah.
is probably in. It's hard to say. Okay, maybe.
First, before we have to measure your biases. So, what weather is the best? What season is your best?
Okay,
Spring, autumn, winter,
sure.
summer.
Okay.
Which is the best?
I think which is my best.
Rank them. Best, top.
I
best.
like summer.
Best. Okay.
Yes.
Followed by.
And then spring, fall, then winter.
okay. Having that in mind, then what was the
Okay.
best weather?
I like the weather in the south, but maybe somewhere like Atlanta or North Carolina, South Carolina, because it's warmer more of the year, but they can still get snow sometimes, so they get the 4 seasons.
Okay.
I like
that. It's like a balance.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and even in Missouri, we get the 4 seasons.
Which part lacks snow?
Which part lacks snow? Florida usually doesn't get it. Southern California,
Okay,
Arizona,
yeah.
New Mexico.
Okay.
A lot
all
of
those-
Texas doesn't
the
get
very
it.
hot
Yeah,
places. Okay.
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've not been there, but I heard that it's more like Nigeria.
Okay.
We don't get snow too.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I should move over there.
Yeah, that's right.
I have a
You
feeling
picked a
of
bad
Nigeria.
place if you don't like snow, genius.
Well, I'm coming from Sweden and.
Oh,
you know,
okay, you're
so what else would you want to tell us about you, American, and maybe lifestyle? Is there some typical lifestyle that makes one American?
I think that most Americans spend a lot of time at work. People are very
People
career-oriented.
work a lot.
Yeah, I think people are very career-oriented because that's what they teach us in school. From the time we're very young, they are trying to gear us and prime us towards a career. It's not so much focused on personal development, it's focused on how can we get you into a career where you can make money and provide for your family and things like that.
America is kind of the real capitalist society.
Yes.
The real, but
Yes.
the beautiful thing is also there are a lot of production that is going on, a lot
Yeah.
of creativity that is going on.
Right.
Someone was mentioning that American accent is different from place to place.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know the difference. I hear you guys just say something, but you know the difference between. If you hear someone speak, you can tell, oh, this person is from this place.
Yes.
Oh.
Generally.
So what was the completing thing you were going to tell us before we end this wonderful American show?
I would say that if you ever have the chance to visit the United States, you should. I think that people are generally really friendly and interested in people.
Do you think this is a good place for someone to migrate to live?
It depends. It depends on where you're going. I think that, and it's just, yeah, it really depends. It depends on what is important to you, what your goals are. But in general, I would say yes.
Okay, so finally, when are you coming to Nigeria?
As soon as I can,
No, we need
I
to-
would
we
love
need to-
to.
we need to
I
put
need
a
a
date.
passport
We need
first.
to- you don't need visa, not a passport. we need to fix it up. Let's fix a date. Okay, she's coming to Nigeria. Call me.